Hello and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. In today's video we will be painting Albert Wesker from the Resident Evil the board game by Steamforged Games. He is one of the survivors or villains, but the sculpt is the same for both villain piece and hero piece. This was requested by a guy named Ian Swafford. And he requested it via PayPal by donating to the channel. So massive thank you to him. Of course, if anyone else would like to get a model painted sooner rather than later, I will get to all of them. But if anyone has a request, be it one of the other main characters or one of the monsters or bigger bosses, or even the alternate sculpts, or costumes of some of the advanced characters, then by all means, if you donate to the channel via my PayPal link linked in the description, then that will expedite things, and yeah, you could have what you need hopefully within the week. So so we shall get started on Albert Wesker. Before he was primed with Brainmatter Beige by Army Painter, he was washed in a warm, essentially bath of warm soapy water, and scrubbed with a toothbrush. That's to get any release agent off when he was moulded. So also when you come to spraying, ensure that you're in a well ventilated area, because the fumes can be quite toxic. So what we're going to do first is, because he's quite a dark model, we're actually going to go in with some of the lighter colours first, which isn't many. So we are going to start off with his flesh, his skin tone. So we're going to go in with Cadian Fleshtone. So as always, give the pot a good shake, and we want to thin this down slightly with a bit of water on our wet palette. This wet palette is by Army Painter and can be purchased on Amazon. So we'll get started on Albert. So we just want to do his skin. So his arms are showing, a bit of his arms. So it doesn't matter if you go onto his sleeves and stuff, because this will all be painted in due course. But yeah, and his fingers as well. So just where his fingerless gloves hold the weapon, like so. We want to get that painted in as well. And of course his face. So I'll get this finished on him. It may need 2 coats to get good coverage, but yeah, I'll get this done and we'll be back. Okay, so that's his skin painted. Next we're going to go in with Light Ochre, and this is going to be for his beautiful blonde hair. So give the pot a shake, and then as always we want to thin our paints down with a dab of water. Again, 2 thin coats is better than 1 thick coat, so we always want to be thinning down our paints. Just apply. It's quite early on still, so if you make any mistakes, you can easily go back and correct them. It's easier at these stages with the lighter paints as well, because lighter paints are easier to cover. So just be aware that when we get to the darker stages, it might be more difficult to cover up mistakes. So yeah, so I'll get another coat on that and we'll be back. Right, okay, so that's a hair based. So next we're going to go in with Black Legion. Now, if you've undercoated with a darker undercoat like Chaos Black Spray or whatever it is, or a Baden Black Spray, you probably don't need to do this. I just want to, the rest of him are all dark colours, so I basically want to put down a dark base colour for this. So I'm going to go in with Black Legion for this, and this is over basically the rest of his model. So this is going to be over his vest, his shirt, his trousers, his boots, his gun. And he's even going to be careful and do his glasses and his earpiece as well. So this bit you want to be extra careful because you don't want to accidentally go over onto his skin colour. It can be corrected, but it is easier if you avoid it altogether. So not the end of the world if it goes on it, but if you can, try and avoid it. The bottom of the model is easy. You don't have to be as careful because there's no lighter colours. But yeah, I'll finish getting him done and we'll be back. Okay, so that's the all the black on Wesker. See a few bits I've missed there looking at it, but it's okay, I'll fill those in. Next up, what we're going to do is we're going to start doing some more of his like sleeves and stuff. So for this, we're going to use Kantor Blue. We want to keep, because he's quite a dark character. We like dark blues and greens, so we want to go in with this now and just fill in his sleeves. Like so. Again, 2 thin coats. It's better than 1 thick coat. Thick coat is for winter only. Ha 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 ha. I'm hilarious. And also got his scruff around his neck as well here. That needs to be painted in blue as well. Like so. You can see that. So yeah, his sleeves and the bit around his neck. And again, 2 coats. So I'll be back once that's done. Okay, so that's his sleeves and collar done. Next up, here we're going to go in with Caliban Green for his vest. And this is the best dark green I've got, but I know it seems more camo-like green, not so much this sort of green. So, but I think this will be a good base. So we're going to get started with that. I didn't even realise he had a greenish vest until I really looked at the art of him. Because in a lot of the art and stuff, he actually looks like it's a black vest, but it's actually very, very dark green. It's more of a camo green than anything. So we don't worry too much about his pouches and stuff. We're gonna go in and paint them separately. But for this, the rest of his vest, just try to be ever so careful and not go on your blue that you've already put down. And yeah. All over his back there as well. I'll get that finished and we'll be back. Next we're going to just go in with Black Legion, and this is just to strengthen the darker black areas. So yeah, so his boots, his trousers, his gloves, and his sunglasses obviously, and his earpiece, headpiece. So yeah, just to strengthen the colour. I do like this black. It's a nice black. So we get that done, I'll be back. Next we're going to come in with Eshin Grey, and this is going to be for all his pouches and buckles and stuff. Again, always water it down, thin it down, tune it down. And this is all the pouches. So you've got these pouches here. It's the thing with Wesker, he's a very emo character. He likes all the dark clothing, dark and brooding. But yeah, so you've got his pouches, even his combat knife. Do that colour as well. Like so. Yeah, this will probably need 2 coats just to get a nice coverage. Then we've got like around his leg, his buckle going around his leg, his gun, his holster, his weapon holster. And then on his vest, he's got a few pouches here, like up here. And then there's one, I believe these are pouches here. Yeah, a couple of pouches here. What else? Looks like a pouch. Pouch there. So yeah, and then even here I'm going to go this bit here. You see? And then this belt that goes around his waist. Like that. So that's everything I'm going to colour in. Well, paint in, colour in. Oh, talking like a toddler. Middle colour. So down there as well, like that. And over his shoulder. So anywhere he's got his straps and stuff for his all his many pouches. So I'll get that finished and we'll be back. Hopefully you can see it all right, because it's quite a dark colours over dark colours, so hopefully you can see it okay. But yeah, I'll get that finished and we'll be back. Almost there with the base coats of Wesker. Just so you know, I also did his bootstraps in Eshin Grey as well. But next we're going to go on to Leadbelcher, and this is going to be for all like the metal buckles. I'm going to use it sparingly, and also the metal pad bits on the back of his gloves, like this bit here, and also his watch face, at least, like that. And the same with this hand. Give it a bit of variation with all the dark colours. And then we want a little some of the straps, maybe on the back. I mean, you don't have to do this bit, but I think a bit of variation always looks nice. And maybe on his knife, just a bit of colour, really. And then on his actual belt, his belt buckle, like that. And yeah, I'm probably happy with that. Yeah, so you don't need a lot there, but yeah, just a few bits. We'll be back for the next step. Okay, so this is how he's looking so far. Next we're going to go into the washes, and for this we're only using 2 at the moment. That's not one of them. That's definitely not one of them. Where is it? Well, one of them's going to be Nuln Oil. The other one, when I can find it, is going to be Reikland Fleshade. Where is it? No, there it is. Found it. Very professional I am, you see. So actually we're going to start off with Reikland Fleshade, because it's the smaller amount, and it's, if we use a thinner brush we can target better. So give it a good shake. Use it straight from the bottle. This is going to be over his fleshy areas and his hair, his beautiful hair. We don't want it too thick. We want to have quite a lot of control over this, where it's going. If you're quite targeted, you can do the next stage without waiting for it to dry. Quite steady, because otherwise it will bleed over, and then they'll start mixing, which is what you probably don't want. So I'll get this on, and we'll be back. Okay, so the wash is dried on his skin. So now we're going to go in with Nuln Oil. Remember, give it a good shake, because you don't want your model coming out shiny. Me not so good with words. Me don't know words good. And again, this is literally all over his darker colours. So his blue sleeves, his green jacket, well, his green vest, his black trousers, and his grey weapon pouches, and even his gloves. If you have a fine brush, you can wash his sunglasses, because, you know, only cool people wear sunglasses in really dark places like a haunted mansion in the middle of the night. But yeah, I'll get this finished and we'll be back. And there we have it. So all the washes have now dried on Wesker. So we're going to go in now with the highlight stage. If you wanted to leave it here, you probably could, but I'm going to take it a little bit further. So for this, I'm going to go in with Cadian Fleshtone again, and it's just to start highlighting up on the flesh. Water it down on our wet palette, and then pick out the top parts of like the fingers and the sharpest bit of his muscles. So we want to cover. We'll probably want to cover 90% of what we washed, leaving just a little bit in the recesses, like so. I'll get that finished and we'll be back. Okay, so that's done. Next highlight is going to be Kislev Flesh, and again we're just doing the higher points on this. So for example, here's tips of his fingers, like that. I'm going to fine brush for this and just accentuate his muscles, stuff. Just the top. Again, his thumb, his finger, and this part of his arm. It's where the light's more likely to hit. And then edge of his nose, like that. Part of his forehead, his ear, back of his ear, bit of his face, like his bit of his neck there, and his chin. That's so. Okay, and final for his flesh, for his skin, I'm going to go in Flayed One Flesh, and this is just a very targeted highlight. We don't want this on too much, more targeted, so just a line on his top of his arm, like say here, very top where the sun will hit the bridge of his nose, and just a line on this arm, and then a tiny bit on his fingers, like his thumb. Don't just show, oh, and then maybe here as well. Accentuate that. And his fingers, like so. That's his flesh done. Okay, with his skin done, we're now going to go and do his hair. So we're going to go back in with Light Ochre. This is just to bring back that original colour, leaving most of it in the recesses. So again, a fine brush here, and sort of bring the brush towards you and trying to keep it as light as possible, like so. You get as much paint off the brush, you could always just drag it along the top. It's a sort of dry brush. Now just hit the very topmost layers, the raised parts of the hair, like so. Yeah. Next up, we're going to add a little Ushabti Bone to that previous layer, which is the Light Ochre. So on my wet palette, I'm just going to mix it in like so. And this is just to give you a lighter colour. See on my thumb how much lighter that is. Like that. So again, get as much of it off and sort of just brush it along the highest edges. You don't want too much paint on there because it'll go into the darker parts. But we want his nice, pretty blonde colour to show through. Like so. Yeah, there you go. And we're actually going to add a tiny bit more Ushabti Bone to the mix. And this is just going to be for the very top of his head. And you can see the transition on my thumb there. So it goes from this colour to this colour to this colour. And if you get as much of it off as you can just brush it, keep your brush straight and just brush it along the top there. Like so. Brings out his nice blonde colour. Like that. Don't go too mad, because otherwise he'll just look very blonde. I want some of that previous colour showing through. But yeah, that's his hair done. Okay, so next we're going to go straight in with Ulthuan Grey. This is going to be for his boots and his gloves and his earpiece and his glasses. So I want the blacks on this to more have a shine to it. So if I do a straight Ulthuan Grey highlight, very fine, like a very faint highlight, then it comes out as more shading instead of sort of highlighting up with greys and stuff. If I go straight in with that colour, hopefully, my hope is it won't change the overall look of the way your eye perceives it as being more grey instead of black. So I just want to, these laces, the boot here. Okay, so for his black trousers, I'm actually going to go in with and sort of highlight up with blues, dark blues, obviously. So I'm going to go Dark Reaper, and this is just going to get us. Oh, too much on the brush there. Way too much on the brush there. This is going to help us with the gradual highlights. We don't want it too overpowering and too obvious. So we still want to keep them dark. Problem with black, if you highlight it too much, I find if you highlight it too much, it stops being black. It becomes more greys. So we just want to hit the highest bits here. Anywhere the light might catch. Here. And the crotch area. Near the folds on his trousers. Down the seam here. There's more folds at the back. There's calf muscle. And this side. A little bit here. A little bit here. Right, okay, so next we're going to take Ulthuan Grey and we're going to add this to the Dark Reaper gradually. So, that's a bit more there. So we want that sort of consistency. Right, and then again, this is just hitting tops of creases and the seam lines, just where the light catches. So, and again, final bit, adding even more Ulthuan Grey. You see the transition there from pure Dark Reaper to sort of mid-tone. Now this would be the highest highlight for it. And this is just very lightly on the highest points of the... Oh, that's too much. See that? Try that way. Try not to get too much on your brush. That's so. I'll finish that and we'll be back. Okay, so the trousers done, we're going to go on to his shirt. So for this we're going to go back in with Kantor Blue, the original blue. And we're just going to go back over this because it was darkened down quite a bit by the Nuln Oil. And again, we want to cover probably about 90% of it, leaving the very most inner parts dark. That gives us good depth. And then this side, don't forget his collar around the back of his neck. And focus the new paint more on the upper areas. Underneath isn't so important, like under here, but get a little bit on there, not too much. Like so. Yeah, I'll get that done and we'll be back. Okay, so next we're going to go in with Caledor Sky. And this is just gradual highlights again on the topmost areas. Like so. It might look a bit brighter going on, but it does darken when it dries. That's it. Yeah, and don't forget the colour. I'll get that finished and we'll be back. And a final highlight of the blue is Teclis Blue. As I've been saying 1,000 times, it's going to be the very topmost parts of this, the bits that catch this, the moonlight or the candlelight of the mansion. So, collar, and the top there. There we go. And that's the blue done on Wesker. Okay, so that's blue done. Here I was unsure of how to proceed with the his vest, I guess. But I will go in with Caliban Green. And this is over 90% of it. This is just where it's been darkened down again by the Nuln Oil, just to bring it back up to the base colour again. And again, this is only going to be 90% of the 90% of the previous layer. That's it. I'll get that done and we're back. Okay, so that's the Caliban Green done. We're going to mix in a bit of Elysian Green in with Caliban Green. That's on my wet palette. Because the vest is quite dark anyway, so I don't want it too bright. So I want to keep a bit of that same sort of tone as the green from there, but obviously a bit brighter. So mixed in. Let's see how that turns out. I have no idea how this will go. Light brushes. That's quite good actually. It's quite nice. It's quite nice. I don't know if you can see that. It turns out quite a nice highlighted green now. Again, this is just on the sharpest edges. And all the creases and the folds. It's probably as much as I'm going to do on the jacket, to be honest with you. So that's the jacket done. Next we're going to go in with Eshin Grey, and this is to go back over the pouches and the buckles and stuff. So this is just again with the Nuln Oil, it's darkened everything down, so we want to bring back that original base coat on 90% of the area that was painted with it before. So just like so. Yeah, just touching the flatter parts of it, leaving the Nuln Oil in the recesses. I'll get that done and we will be back for the next step. Okay, so next step we're going to go in with Administratum Grey, and we'll probably mix this in with 50-50 with Eshin Grey to get a transition colour between the two. That's where a wet palette comes in really handy, because then it's great for mixing and keeps all your paints damp, and you can use them for a lot longer than on. I used to just slap it on the table, you know, and get a wet palette just keeps it dry for that much longer. Make sure you get as much of it off your brush as possible, and that helps you just target where you want. Let's say, and the belts and the buckles, pouches, and just hitting it on the edges. Like so. Forget the belt around his. And the final highlight for the belts and braces, pouches and stuff, is just a straight Administratum Grey, which I need to get a new paint pot of because mine is very nearly dead. So straight on. Just very like a touch. There's a spot highlight. I'm not going mad with this. And then on the knife on his butt. A little bit on his braces. Back. There you go. Happy with that. There's a lot of grey on him, but I'm quite happy with that. Okay, so we're almost there now with Wesker. A few more things we need to do is go in with Leadbelcher, and I said it on the previous heroes. The way I do guns, unless they're like special guns like Barry's gun with a wooden handle and stuff, I just do a single highlight along the weapon of silver, just to let you know it's like metal. Like so. And that's literally all I do for the guns. Keeps it nice and simple. You can tell what it is. And there's a different highlight to the rest of the colours. And then everywhere else where there was silver or gunmetal, just go over it, like the watch as well, and some of the metal buckles. You just want to go in and get that shine back on the back there, and just a few bits on the dagger or knife at the back even. Help if I had it in frame. Yeah. Like that. Right, so do a bit of undergun. Like that. Cool. Right. We'll do the badge next. Okay, so the way I've been doing the badges on the other Stars members is I go in with blue. So we're going to start off with Kantor Blue. And this is just going to paint in the whole badge here, like so. Like that. Nice easy step there. So next with the badge, we're going to go in with P3, which is Morrow White, best white out there that I've ever used. I highly advise getting this pot. Very, very good. But anyway, this is going to be a very, very, very fine edge highlight around the badge, so you can differentiate between the badge itself and the clothing. So just very, very fine. So we'll go all the way around the badge, because unless you're an absolute expert at really little writing, the word stars is written in white. So I'm not going to get to that level of detail for this, but if you wanted to, you go ahead and do it. But for me, I'm happy with just getting a nice border to the badge, because then it sort of draws the eye towards it, and with the three yellow stars in it, you can tell what it is. Like so. Like literally just a border, and it gets, I mean, you could put a bit in like that, but yeah, it draws the eye to it. That's what we want. Going with a second coat just to strengthen the white, which I may do, because it's such a thin coat, it dries very quick as well, so you can go straight in and just do a second pass like that. And like that. And our final part is Averland Sunset, and these are for the three little dots, the three little stars on the logo. So again, you're going to want a very fine brush here, because otherwise it'll just splodge. And you want it sort of like one there, and one there, sort of that look like that. So I'll try and do that on this. But it's nice him not having eyeballs. He's wearing glasses, so I don't have to worry about doing eyeballs on our dear Wesker. 1, 2, and a third little dot. 3. Let's go in again to strengthen the colour. Ever so steadily. And there you have it. I'm quite happy with that. And there you have it. Captain Albert Wesker, leader of the Stars Alpha team, who puts his team before anything else. Stand up bloke. Trust him with your life. Right? I'm sure he won't do anything bad. But there he is with the other player characters. So let me know if which player character you want painted up next, be it any of the other remaining Alpha team or Bravo team, or alternate sculpts. I have all the minis from this board game. Again, if you donate to the channel via the link in my in the description, the PayPal, and put a request in there, it will expedite whichever one you want to get painted. So if it's Kenneth, put it in there, I'll paint him up. If it's Joseph, do it. If it's Brad, I mean, I've already got a Brad painted from Resident Evil 2, but can never have too many Brads. But yeah, if you enjoy this video, please leave a like and subscribe. And yeah, happy painting. We'll see you in the next video.